Hi and welcome to A Couple of Yogis YouTube videos. We are A Couple of Yogis. I'm Emma and
I'm Neil.
And we are doing these mini short videos breaking down some basic yoga poses that you will come across in your yoga practice. So today we are going to break down Chaturanga, or also known in its full name,
Chaturanga Dandasana, also known as four-limbed staff pose.
I didn't know that. That's
Four-limbed staff
bad
pose.
teacher. I should know that. Okay, that's really cool. Awesome. So we're going to break it down and show you some modifications. So as usual, I'll teach first, Neil will demo, and then we'll switch over. Neil will teach, I will demo. And that gives you an opportunity to see how different teachers teach in different ways, but also how it looks different in different bodies. So we'll get started. So Neil, if you could come into plank pose. So in our last video, we covered plank. So we're not going to talk through it. I'm just going to ask Neil just to come straight into plank pose. So usually this is where you will start in your Chaturanga. But the modification is to drop the knees. So Neil, I'm going to ask you to drop the knees first so that we can focus on the arms. So in Chaturanga, the main thing really is to bring the elbows back in by your side. So you're lowering your chin and your chest to the earth first, not the belly. So a common mistake, Neil, if you don't mind demoing, a common mistake is we see the hips drop, the belly drop, and then the chest falls through last. Not really what we're aiming for in Chaturanga. So really what we're aiming for is the chest and the chin to lower first, and keeping that lovely plank engagement with the tailbone extended back and keeping the elbows by your side. Really nice. So Neil, if you could press all the way back up. Another one that we usually see is the hips drop, but also elbows coming out to the side, and people tend to lower like this.
I don't know how they do that.
So really what we're trying to do is keep the elbows shooting back. So here's a little trick. If you have any books or blocks at home, Neil, actually, would you mind just bringing your hands in just a smidge? There we go, that's really nice. So I'm going to place a block here, and I'm going to place really close to Neil's forearms, and he's just going to practice lowering, bringing his elbows back by his side without knocking the blocks. Really nice. Oh, really good. And then inhale, come back. Yeah, that's pressure. Cool, really nice. So you can see he's keeping his elbows back by his side. And now you can bring in the legs. So by extending the legs back, what's happening here is you're just increasing the load. So you're making it a little bit harder. So again, posterior tilt of the pelvis, drawing pubic bone to navel, thinking angry cat back, lifting up through the kneecaps, extending out through the heels. Take an inhale, slightly rocking forward. As you exhale, bend into the elbows, lowering the chin and the chest first. Keeping the elbows by your side, releasing all the way down onto the floor. Really nice, and then you can press back to child's pose. Lovely. Really nice. So, Neil, if you'd like, you can put me through my paces.
Okay, Emma, as ever, we're going to begin with an all-fours position. So our hands are going to be stacked underneath our shoulders, and our knees are going to be stacked underneath our hips. We don't need to talk you through that. We've been through this a couple of times, so hopefully you know where you're going with an all-fours position. Again, Emma, with our knees down, with the gaze just slightly forward of our fingers, we're going to shift the weight, weight of the shoulders just slightly over, and then we're going to bend those elbows, keeping them really close to the side. We're going to bring our chest down first, through, and then our chin is going to come down, and we're going to come all the way down to the mat with our elbows nice and tight to our sides.
It's almost like little grasshopper legs, isn't it?
Yeah, little grasshopper legs there, exactly. So if you want to press back up there, Emma. The good thing with Emma is that she does everything so well that I don't need to give her too many pointers. That was really nice, but we will move it back into a plank position, and we'll come down through a full Chaturanga.
Payback time.
Payback time indeed. So again, really good engagement, pressing those heels back towards the back of the room, really nice. Again, it's nice to just feel, if I put that hand there, pressing through those arms. And then when you're ready, Emma, on a slight inhale, we're going to come forward to our legs, over our hands, and then we're going to drop our chest all the way through our elbows, keeping them nice and tight, really nice, and a lovely strong back there. And again, all the time keeping those legs engaged. If you keep those legs engaged, you'll feel a real core strengthening. And when your core is strong through this pose, you will actually feel yourself being a little bit lighter, because you're so straight. You are like a plank. So when you're in that plank pose, lowering down. So Emma, we'll talk through the way that some people go wrong here. So if you want to press back up into that plank position once more, and then the one problem that can happen here is a slight dipping of the hips. And then coming down can seem really difficult, especially if you're trying to get your chest all the way through. So it's almost like a collapsing of the hips down onto the mat. So that's really not the way to do it.
I always feel like it's like a worm.
It's like a worm, yeah, exactly. We don't want to do a worm dance here. That's not what we're aiming for here. So press back once more, Emma. And one other problem is that the hips can be hiked too high, and that is just going to be very tiring, I'm sure already, Emma. That is extremely tough.
It's like hiking.
So those are the two main problems where people get it just a little bit wrong. It's all about having that flat back and that real straight plank-like posture, and then you'll actually feel yourself being a little bit lighter. A great pose and a great movement for the tripods, for the triceps, for the shoulders, and for the core
and the
deltoids, exactly. Yeah. So lots of different engagements there, and really good for balancing postures and inversions.
Absolutely.
So we're going to do it probably side by side and come through a
cool.
Chaturanga.